Hi, I'm Javaune Simpson and welcome back to Speak Up. Now for today's topic, I'll be talking to you about sex. Sex. Yeah, I know. Some persons might be on the edge of their seats right now trying to find out what it is that I'm about to talk about as it pertains to sex. Even though you saw the topic already. But before I get into that, I would like to thank everybody that actually watched the last video, which was 10 questions answered. I hope you enjoyed it. If it is that you haven't seen that video as yet, then you can go right there in the description and check that link out. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Share it if you feel like sharing it. And yeah, that's it. Let's get into today's topic. Now for today's topic, it's 6 signs you are not ready for sex. At number 1, we have age. And age is there because in many different countries you have what is called the age of consent. And now the age of consent helps persons or sets a law or a foundation to say, hey, you're not supposed to have sex before this age. Despite persons, going against this law and having sex before these ages, it's illegal to do so. And so you can be prosecuted or fined or whatever it might be in different countries, whatever their laws are. I don't know what their laws are specifically as it pertains to the punishment that you will get because you disobeyed the law or went against the law. I don't know, but yeah, this is where it kind of gets a bit sad because I did some research and I found out that you have some very low ages of consent in this world. I've always complained about the age of consent in Jamaica, but now that I'm seeing this age of consent and it's in Nigeria where it's 11 years old, no, that's puzzling to me as an individual because I'm like, what? 11 years old? An 11-year-old can't even do certain things for themselves, and it's also a bit confusing as well because funny enough or not funny enough, so I guess I would say serious enough, in Jamaica the ages as it pertains to education is very similar to Nigeria. So from 6 to 11 you'd find that a person is in primary school. This is true for Nigeria as well. So this is kind of confusing to me as it pertains to how in the world are you expecting somebody that's just making the transition to high school to be able to give consent to sex? What some of them don't even know what career paths they want to go along. I don't know, that's weird. But next up, I have the highest age of consent, and I have to give shout out, big ups to these countries, Portugal and Bahrain, for having their ages of consent at 21. Yeah, you heard me, 21. That's, yeah. So up until 4 years ago, I wasn't even eligible to have sex if I was, from Portugal or Bahrain, and this is good. This is a great thing, I believe. I hope that their percentages as it pertains to marriage is high as well. I hope that persons actually get married before they actually get involved in sex in these countries, because if you're waiting until 21, why not just get married and done? No man. Anyways, let's move on. So while in other European countries we have the age of consent at 16 to 17, all right, in Jamaica, we already know that it's 16. In the United States of America, it's 16. In Canada, it's 16. In United Kingdom, it's 16. In Chile, it's 18. In Argentina, it's 18. I just gave you a few other countries that might be, that popular that you might want the ages of consent for. And let's move on. So number 2, we have lack of necessary responsibility. Now, let's be honest. The mere fact that you're getting involved in sex means that there is a slight chance of you getting pregnant, right? And if it is that you get pregnant, what will you do after? Yes, that was just a dramatic break right there to get you to think, what will you do after? Is it that at the age of 16, if you have a child, are you ready for the responsibilities of having a child? Is it that you'll find it necessary to leave the kids or whomever with the grandparents or whoever? These are things that you have to take into consideration, because let's keep in mind as well, none of the contraceptive methods are actually 100% except for abstinence. 100% as it pertains to not getting pregnant or not getting an STI through sexual encounter. You have contraceptive methods going up to even 90 something. However, if you understand statistics, then you know that you can very well just be that one, and persons would be like, did you even use a condom? And you'd be like, yes, I did, and you found out that the condom break for some reason, or perhaps your partner, they didn't even put on a condom. That's another dramatic pause right there, because you do have partners that indulge in sexual activities with persons and they tell the females that they're putting on condoms, but they really don't. And persons might be out there like, so they don't check. No, some females don't check because they trust their partners that much. Yeah, moving on. Number 3, not married. And I know the Christians are out there like, hallelujah, thank you Lord that you mentioned that one. And yes, I did mention that one, not being married. Now, not being married brings about different things. If it is that you were culturally grown or morally grown to be married before you have sex, then having sex before getting married can actually bring about a sense of guilt. And believe you me, guilt after having sex is nothing to have. It's no joke. You'll stress yourself out, and take it from me. Testimony coming on, people. Yeah, but anyways, as it pertains to Christian beliefs, as it pertains to the Bible, as it pertains to many of our faith, the basis of our faith, we find that it is not permitted to have sex outside of marriage. Now, this is not so for a lot of us. Some of us have already had sex, like myself, and so this is something that I've already done. It's not that you can take it back or anything like that, but you can try your best to stay out of sex way until marriage. Yes, and if it is that you don't desire to get married, then you can remain celibate for the rest of your life. Anyways, moving on. So number 4, can't talk about it. Now, I've met a lot of persons that are, oh my god, I've met even persons that are married that can't talk about sex, which goes to show you that I don't think they should be having sex. Let me just move on. So yeah, if you cannot talk about sex, if you cannot negotiate condom use, now in many relationships we find that male partners at times force their female partners, especially if they're younger than them, force them to not use condoms because the males sometimes find it to be more pleasurable. Sometimes persons are afraid to talk about it because it's something that wasn't spoken about in their household. It's something that is perhaps a taboo topic as it pertains to their religious beliefs. That's something that you have to try and break yourself out of. In order to be active sexually, I believe that you should at least be knowledgeable about certain things. And I'm not saying that being knowledgeable about something means that you will automatically want to talk about it and all that, but all I'm saying is that you should be comfortable enough to think about certain things, talk about certain things, so that you are able to rationalize certain things out and not be naive as it pertains to certain information out there. Don't let it remain taboo in your space or in your environment, because this information is something that's necessary not only to you but to persons around you, because some of you have children and it's necessary for you to talk to your children about sex. Do not allow their high school mates to tell them about sex. Do not allow their primary school mates to tell them about sex. Do not allow their collegiate schoolmates to tell them about sex, because they'll tell them about sex in that's another dramatic break right there. I don't know. They'll tell them about sex in some weird way, some way to perverse their minds. And it's best for somebody that loves them and cares for them to tell them about sex, to give them that information. So do not allow other persons to teach your kids about sex. I mean, I'm going to be talking about sex a lot on Speak Up, so if it is that you want to hear about sex, then you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because I will be talking about it. And I mean, it's something that we should talk about as individuals, whether you're married or you're unmarried. I think you should get involved in conversations. No, I'm not saying that you should be out there talking about lustful conversations and all these things. All I'm saying is that you should become knowledgeable about this topic. Alright? Don't want to waste any more time on this topic, so let me go on to number 5. Haven't been tested. Now, it's best for somebody who's getting involved in sex, even after marriage, to be aware of your status. Alright? Now, this is not to become discriminative of anybody. It's best for you to get tested so you can know your status. Now, this might not deter the person from wanting to marry you, so do not believe that knowing your status will keep you single forever. No, you have persons that will love you genuinely. despite you being infected. Now persons tend to stigmatize persons, and persons tend to discriminate against persons. But I'm saying to you straightforwardly at this point in time, if you're a Christian and you stigmatize or you discriminate against persons, and I suggest you get yourself in check. There are a lot of times, and some of us might have gotten infected with something, and it's only by the grace of God that we didn't get infected. And that's just the honest truth. So we have to keep real, people. We cannot discriminate or stigmatize against persons because of their positions. Alright? Please take me seriously on that. Number 6. Doing it for the wrong reasons. Now this is this is perhaps one of the biggest ones, because a lot of times we find that persons get involved in sexual activities for the wrong reasons. Sometimes some females try to prove to their male partners that, hey, I love you, and okay, I'll give it to you. Give it that you want it that much. Okay, I'll give it to you. I'll have sex with you. But no, females, remain strong. If it is that guy loves you truly, then he should be able to wait until marriage to have sex with you. So do not believe that, hey, this guy loves me and hey, I should give him. No. Hey, the blessing that God has given you, ladies, do not believe that it's something that you should give as a gift to any guy just because they profess their love to you. No, that's not enough for them to get that gift. They should get that gift only after marrying you, when they actually prove to you that, hey, they're actually serious about this. And even then, sometimes some of these guys aren't even serious. Sometimes they're just there for the sex at times, and but allow God to deal with them. Let it be that you did it the right way. Let it be that you went about it the holy way. Let it be that you went about it in that way, because God created sex, and He created it for He created it as something that we should enjoy, and enjoy with that significant other, not just a guy that, hey, say he likes you and he really has a lot of feelings for you and all these things, and hey, he's like, I'm in the mood to have sex, let's have sex. No, that's not the right reason to have sex. So in continuing on this number, and I mean it's the last number, so do not believe that if you have sex with an individual, then that will make them love you. No, sex won't let an individual love you, because that person can very well just move on after getting sex from you. So do not believe that that's something that will happen for you. Do not believe in these fairy tales of believing that, hey, once you kiss this person for the first time or have sex with this person for the first time, then he'll automatically become your forever. No, it's not the case. He'll not automatically become your forever. In fact, you have guys that linger around just to get sex, and then they start treating you weird. That should be a topic on Speak Up. I'll talk about that. I hope I remember to talk about that. Guys, you can go ahead and remind me about that topic. I want to talk about that. Guys that stick around to have sex with persons and then just leave after, or they start treating them badly after, because they know how terrible it looks to actually leave after. So some of the times they just start treating you bad after, stop paying you much attention, and all these things. Yes, so if it is that you feel that it is easier to give into sex, that's a wrong reason as well. Do not believe that because you're in a certain position. So let's say you went over to somebody's house, your partner's house, and you're like Netflix and chill, and you realize that this person is in this mood, this very sexual mood. Yes, and us Jamaicans refer to it as being horny. So, well, not us Jamaicans only, but Jamaicans tend to be a bit extra with everything. So anyways, if this person is in such a mood and you're there and you're like, I think it's just better for me to just give in rather than to resist her or resist him, and then I might just hurt their feelings. Like, what? You better hurt their feelings. You better. And I'm not saying I should hurt people's feelings, but I mean, it's also your life as well. You cannot give in to sexual activities just because you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, just because it seems like it's easier to say yes than to say no. No. You should get familiar with the word no, because if you say yes, no, only Lord knows how many times you'll be saying yes after that. Because sometimes these persons won't stop there. They'll be like, okay, can you do this as well? Okay, can we do this again? No. And remain firm, So you think everyone is doing it. No, everyone is not doing it. No, there are some persons that behave as if they're doing it, but they're really and truly not doing it. So do not believe that they're doing it just because they say that they're doing it. They're lying. Some of them are lying. I remember growing up and I was in high school, and some of these guys would be like, yeah man, this is what I do, and yeah man, this is how I'm do it with this girl. And some girls would be like, yes, I can do this and I can do it. And believe you me, they were lying. I believe that they were lying. Like, some of these things that they say were just ridiculous. Because I grew up in a space where I heard about sex a lot. I was taught about sex a lot. I was taught about the sexual diseases, the viruses. I grew up as a youth journalist. For those of you who didn't know, this is not me boasting or anything, but I grew up as a youth journalist. Shout out to Panas Caribbean, shout out to E for Life. Yes, and those mentors that I had taught me about sex, taught me about the do's and the don'ts. And this is where I guess the knowledge or the wisdom comes from as it pertains to these sexual arguments. So this is why I have a passion to talk about these things, because I know that there are a whole lot of taboo arguments out there as it pertains to sex, and I want to help persons to move away from these arguments. Now, do not believe under any circumstances at all that everybody is having sex. Everybody is not having sex, right? Do not believe that because you see a girl pose a certain way in a picture that she's sexually active. No, it doesn't mean that. So it doesn't mean that you should get sexually active too. It doesn't mean that because the most popular girl in school is having sex, that means that you have to have sex as well. It doesn't mean that because that Christian sister is having sex with that Christian brother, do not believe that you have to have sex as well. This is just not the right path to go down unless you are married. And do not get married for sexual reasons either. Now, in closing this off, I would like to give a whole lot of respect to persons that might not be able to have sex currently because of personal reasons, such as they were abused, raped, molested, or whatever it might be, whatever adjective or whatever word you want to use, as it pertains to sex, and they were forced. And so for some of them, mentally they are scarred, and so it's harder for them to give in to this activity even after marriage. Sometimes you might have a husband that he loves his wife and he's there for his wife, and he already knows about the situation. However, his wife is just so, like, she remembers so much about the activity that it kind of scares her, or not kind of, it does scare her to give into this activity. And so I tip my hat off to persons that have been in situations like those, husbands that actually still, stick around with their wives. You ought to. That's true love right there. And I mean, I hope you're being faithful to them as well, and just helping them through this. If it is that you have a fiance, if it is that you have a girlfriend that has experienced sexual abuse, I hope that you will help them. If it is that they want to seek counseling, you can go ahead and seek counseling. And for the females, or for whoever, even males, so males have been abused sexually as well, and so it is hard for them to give in to sexual activities as well, or some of them become promiscuous. Do not believe that you're in it alone. Just know that persons are out there fighting for you, that are out there praying for you, and I want you to seek help. This is not a place that you have to stay for the rest of your life. You shall find strength. You do already have that power to remain positive, to remain focused on godly things, and keep on seeking God as much as possible. And if it is that you're looking forward to marriage, and it seems like it's a block to your marriage or to the hopes of you getting married, then I suggest that you get counseling, and counseling shall be a great help for you. Prayer shall be a great help for you. Just talking about it to persons that actually care about you will be a great thing for you. And I'm hoping to do topics like these, so you can subscribe to this channel, and this is not just a selling point. This is me just being honest with you. Like, if it is that you want to hear more about things like this, then you can subscribe. And this actually brings us to the end of this this video. So yeah, you can go ahead and subscribe if it is that you like the content in which you've seen. If it is that you like it that much, you can go ahead and share it, comment, share your views as it pertains to the signs in which I've shared with you. Do you agree? You don't agree? Let me know why you do agree, why you don't agree, whatever it is. Give a thumbs up if you liked it. Yeah, this has been Speak Up with Javaune Simpson. Much love. God bless. Stay safe.